Well, good evening, gentlemen. Today I wanted to get up on my soapbox and talk about something that's not talked about a lot. And it kind of has to do with integrity in a lot of ways. It has to do with commitment. And that is having relationships outside of your marriage, having intimacy outside of your marriage. Intimacy to me is in three parts. It's either physical intimacy, emotional intimacy, or psychological intimacy. Your brain is really easy. It's really easy for your brain to trick your emotions in a lot of ways. And I see this a lot in the workforce. A lot of people at my job, you'll notice they're married. And they'll have some sort of relationship inside work. It might not be full on, affair type of relationship, but they are, in my mind, cheating. And this can go a lot of ways for a lot of people. My wife and I had this discussion before we got married, actually. It was part of a book that we had read called 101 Questions to Ask Before You Get Engaged. And that was, what is considered cheating? In my mind, flirting with the opposite sex is considered cheating. Especially if you're having to hide it or if your wife does not know about it. And it blows my mind. I'll see all sorts of married men and married women at my job who flirt with the opposite sex. That it might not be complete physical affection. They could not see it as cheating. I don't know. But hold your own integrity, respect your spouse, and just don't get involved with the opposite sex. It's a big problem. I see a ton of men who just flirt with women. It causes strife in their relationship. Their wife might find out. They say, well, I didn't cheat. I was just talking to women. Or, it wasn't cheating because we didn't actually have sex. We just hung out after work or, would sit there and text, and whatnot. But, bottom line, bottom grounds, anytime you have an emotional connection to the opposite sex outside of your marriage, that's going to cause problem, and it is cheating. You may not want to say that it's cheating because you didn't actually have an affair, let's say, but it's something that needs to be talked about. It's something that's not talked about enough. So I'm here to talk about it. And I guess you could say this video is for the ladies. But as men, we need to stop it. We really do. I sitting at work and had a coworker. He was like, man, I know he's a married man. He has a beautiful wife. Beautiful wife. I can say that, He has a beautiful wife. And He leaned over to me. We were sitting, waiting for a shift to start, and he was like, "Man, there's just not a lot of hot ladies at this job." And I looked at him square as I could be, plain and simple. I said, "You're a married man." And he shut up real quick. That's all I said to him. And he came back later and acted like nothing ever happened. But I knew it hit him hard. Because most men in the workplace, they'll joke around. They'll talk about, that girl over there, she's really hot. We're going to flirt with her. Let's see who can get her number first. These are all married men doing this. And it just drives me crazy. We were actually talking about it. The reason I brought this up is because I was in a training session with a couple of ladies. One of them was an older lady, the other one a little bit older than me. And they were talking about relationships and stuff, and it came out that I was married, and I said, man, I have the best wife in the world. I said, my wife is amazing. She will do anything for me. I'll boast about my wife to anybody. And they were talking about how, most men don't do that. And the reason they don't do it, especially at jobs, is because a lot of them try and keep their relationships a secret. A lot of them, number one, aren't happy in their relationship, and that's a big problem on themselves. If you're not happy in your relationship, you need to go seek some counseling and figure things out. Figure why you're not happy. It might just be you. It might be you and your spouse. It might be your spouse that's a big problem of it, but you need to figure it out. Most of the time, it's a you problem. 99% of the time, the reason you're unhappy in your relationship is because of you. And it is not anybody's fault. That does not give you a right to go out and flirt with other women at work or have an affair or have relationships outside of work. It doesn't. I don't care what your spouse is doing. They could be cheating on you. That does not give you a right to cheat. You need to hold your own integrity. You need to respect the decision you made to be in that relationship. Whether you're just starting out dating, whether you're married, especially if you're married. If you've made that commitment in front of God and everybody, you need to respect it. And it's a big soapbox, and I'll get stirred up about it, so I'm trying not to. But that's just one thing that really, really gets me is men don't know how to respect women. They really don't. And I'll probably make a million other videos about how men need to respect women. Our wives are special to us. We're there to protect them. We're there to provide for them. And yes, they have to hold their own too. They need to add to the relationship as well. It's not a one-way thing. But no matter what they do, you need to do your part. You need to be the kind of man who tries to do as much right as you can in your relationship. If they don't hold up their end, that's on them. But that never gives you a right to go out of line. Never get out of line in your relationship. You do what you need to do, and most of the time, you'll notice that things are smooth sailing. As long as you're doing what you need to do, staying out of trouble, your spouse will do you good. So I'm going to get off my soapbox now. And for anybody wondering, I'm smoking out of my Salvinelli estate pipe that I picked up. I bought this at an antique store. This was I think this was the first or second pipe. I think this may have been the first pipe I ever bought. But it's one of my favorite pipes. It takes a balsa wood filter, which is kind of cool. And I'm smoking, I think it's called eccentric. It's one of those birds of the feather kind of line, or I don't know what you call it. It's like a special edition type of smoke. And it's a really good, smooth smoke. Just add that in there at the end of every video, because I've got people who always ask in the comments, what are you smoking? What are you smoking out of? Things like that. So I'll make sure to let you guys know now. But that's all I really had to say. I just want to say, make sure you're respecting your spouse. There's a fine line when it comes to cheating. And that fine line, usually if you're considering whether or not it's cheating, it's going to be cheating. So that's all I have to say. I know a lot of people are going to disagree, and this video might give me some slack for that. But I don't care. You can think what you want. Cheating is cheating, and that's all I got to say. I'll see you guys tomorrow for another video. Take care.